Hey, Bob Price here. I have a special treat for you. I'm going to read you my novel, the first 3 chapters of the Tarot by Design novel. I hope you enjoy it. I enjoyed creating those first 3 chapters. I'm working on it. I have like 24 chapters done. Please let me know what you think in the comments.
I am Silhouette, the co-protagonist from Bob's novel. As you hear Sean's story, you must understand something. Every journey begins in the quiet, invisible places long before the first step is taken. His path began in the soft hum of intuition, in the subtle places where the soul speaks before the mind knows how to listen. I speak from the threshold between the seen and the unseen. I've learned that nothing arrives by coincidence, not the dreams, not the symbols, not the people who cross our path at strange, impossible moments. Everything belongs to a pattern unfolding beneath the surface, even when we pretend not to notice the way the air changes before something important appears. Sean's story was written in 2 languages, design and destiny. He believed he was simply creating, but creation is often a form of remembering. When he dreamed of doors, he thought it was only a dream. But doors are invitations. They appear when something within you is ready to be revealed. You will learn how doors are magical and revealing, not because they show you what is ahead, but because they show you what has been waiting inside you all along. The subway he entered in sleep was not a place, it was a passage. Every fool begins underground, in the hidden layers of the self, before rising into whatever waits above. I sensed him long before I met him, the way certain souls send out a frequency that only a few can hear. Madame Mirage saw the first spark. Her reading was not a prediction but a map, symbols circling him like constellations waiting for the right moment to glow. Time passed, but destiny does not measure in hours. It measures in readiness, in the quiet turning of something unseen. And then the pattern shifted. Not loudly. Not dramatically. Just enough for 2 paths to brush against each other. Destiny rarely arrives with thunder. It prefers small disturbances, the kind that feel accidental until you look back and realize they weren't. When I laid the cards before him, I felt a story stirring, not yet formed, not yet willing to show its face. The cards were doorways, and he stepped toward them without knowing what waited on the other side, only that something was calling. So as you listen to these chapters, listen with the part of you that recognizes symbols before they are explained. The fool is already moving. The doors are already stirring. And somewhere in this story, a doorway may shift open for you as well, quietly, in its own time, in its own way.
Hi, this is Bob Price. This is a reading of my first 3 chapters of my novel, Tarot by Design. Starting with chapter 1, A Dream of Doors. Sean Preston woke early, the ocean breeze drifting through the window. He lived in Encinitas, a seaside town north of San Diego, where the waves were part of the daily commute. At 40, Sean was tall, medium-built, with dark hair and sea blue eyes that mirrored the coast he loved. He worked at Arcana Studios, a company that created personalized content for larger companies establishing brands, imagery shaped by data, emotion, and design. The building he worked at was dated. It had shiny tiles and floors and echoes of a past era. But the work he did was cutting edge. Sean's hybrid skill set, graphic design and troubleshooting, made him a go-to for projects that required both creativity and logic. Outside of work, Sean was always creating self-imposed projects that kept him grounded. He believed in the power of being creative, bringing positive things into one's life, and that being creative changes lives. He chased that feeling with every new endeavor. Sean's interest in the tarot was based on a few things. Years ago, while living with his mother and stepfather, Sean's mother had a tarot deck. she used to keep in one of the kitchen drawers. She used to keep it in the kitchen drawer. Sean never used it, but it remained in the back of his mind as a tarot memory. Also, years ago, Sean was on a trip for work in Boston, Massachusetts, and while looking for a place to get dinner, he saw a big sign, "Come in for answers to be successful." This made him curious, and he walked in for a reading into the building that had the sign. He could not see, but there was someone sitting in a back corner behind a table. He could not make out the details of what was there, as his eyes hadn't adjusted, but as he started to have his eyes adjust, he saw a woman before him. She had long dark hair and looked like a gypsy with dark blue eyes. She wore a lot of jewelry, and she had several candles that created a mystical ambience. She introduced herself as Madame Mirage. She bid him to sit in a chair before her. Sean sat down, the candles flickering against the walls, shadows dancing across Madame Mirage's jewelry. Her dark blue eyes held him steady as she shuffled a worn-out Rider-Waite tarot deck, softened from years of use. "Madame Mirage, 3 cards will speak to you tonight," she said. "They are not answers, but signs. Watch how they unfold." She laid out the first card. The Fool, upright. The beginning. You are called to step into the unknown, not with certainty, but with trust. Another person who looks to be a female will come into your life who carries the spirit. Someone who will open doors to mysteries you cannot yet imagine. The second card fell. The High Priestess, upright. Hidden knowledge. This woman waits between the pillars of shadow and light. You will meet her in the future, a woman of vision, intuitive. There is something vibrant about her. She will guide you into the unseen. She will give you answers. She will teach you how to listen. The third card slid forward. The Tower reversed. Disruption delayed. A great upheaval awaits, but it will not strike all at once. You will sense cracks in the foundation before the fall. This is your test, whether to cling to what's crumbling or to rebuild with new strength. Madame Mirage leaned closer, her voice low and steady. She said, "These are archetypes, and these archetypes are alive. They will return to you in different forms. Someday, you will not only read them, you will create something related to archetypes. I'm not sure what it is, but it will be important to you and take prominence in your life. Remember, the Fool is your beginning, the Priest is your guide, and the Tower your trial." Sean thanked Madame Mirage and left the reading unsettled, but strangely awakened, carrying her words like a seed. This reading with Madame Mirage had planted a spark. He reflected on the 3 cards in his mind. Years passed. Sean periodically thought of the 3-card reading Madame Mirage gave him. He was not sure what the answers were to the 3-card tarot reading she gave him. It remained a mystery. One thing was for sure. She raised an awareness of the tarot and the outgoing interest to learn more about it. He decided to design a tarot deck so he would gain a better understanding of the cards and better understand Madame Mirage's reading. The deck would have 78 cards, each a visual archetype. He knew that this was going to be a challenge that would take years to complete, to create so many cards. He began with the Fool card numbered 0. It was outside the other tarot cards' numbered sequence, yet it was the beginning of all journeys. He studied the traditional decks, but wanted something different, something modern, something personal. That night, too tired for dinner, he collapsed into his bed and slipped into sleep without realizing it. He dreamed of his kitchen door, the one that left to the garage, and his spare fridge. When he opened it, he found a hallway instead, doors lined up on the right side, unmarked and mysterious. He woke with the image vivid in his mind and scribbled it down in the kitchen. Why the doors? What do they mean? The next morning, dolphins danced in the distance as he drove to work at Arcana. He could see them on the ocean. The multimedia team flagged a problem with their 8-monitor display. Black vans appeared where they shouldn't. Sean met with the team lead, Mark Sparky Jones, and began troubleshooting. By day's end, the issues remained unsolved. Sean checked his email and then sank into his lounge chair and drifted into a nap. When he woke, groggy and half dreaming, he went to bed. That night, the dream returned. The hallway was lit by candles now, flickering along the left wall. The third door glowed faintly. Sean opened it and stepped into a busy subway station. A man sold him a ticket. He boarded a trolley, and then he woke. In the kitchen, he wrote again, "Why the hallway doors? Why the subway? What does it mean?" Chapter 2, The Fool's Journey. At work, Sean continued testing solutions for the monitor issue, but his mind kept drifting to the tarot deck, the Fool card, the dream, the subway. He didn't want to create a traditional deck. The old imagery didn't speak to him. He needed something new, something designed. Once the idea took hold, it wouldn't let go. That's how creativity worked with him. It compelled. He lost himself in the day's task. Time blurred. He loved his job. It enveloped him. On the drive home, he watched the ocean. No dolphins this time, but the memory lingered. He grabbed Mexican takeout and ate it quietly, thinking about the dream. That night, the doors returned. He walked through them again, entered the subway, sat down, and woke. At the office, progress came slowly. Black vans were shrinking. He updated Sparky and then returned to his notes. He liked writing things down. Despite the digital age, paper helped him visualize things. He sketched a card. At the top he wrote, "The Fool." Then it hit him, a zany moment, he called it, a flash of intuition. The Fool wasn't on a cliff, he was on a subway, a man with a ticket ready to board, to start a journey. Excited, Sean began designing. He researched cardstock, found a pack of blank cards, 200 pieces. He printed the imagery and glued it on, a prototype. He ordered supplies and began working with AI to generate ideas. Sometimes the images came out strange, extra limbs, surreal distortions, but he corrected them on his iPad. A week later, the materials arrived. He printed the first card, the Fool, standing in a train station, ticket in hand. He put the card in his pocket. Chapter 3, The Fool Meets Silhouette. Silhouette was in her 40s, with vibrant red hair that cascaded down her back like wildfire, cascading down a cliff. Her green eyes caught the light like emeralds, especially when the sun filtered through the cafe windows. Long, elegant fingers moved with a precise precision as she arranged her crystals, amethyst, rose quartz, and a central moonstone that hung from a silver chain at her throat. A trace of musk lingered in the air when she passed, earthly and enigmatic. She had a modest YouTube channel where she shared intuitive tips and rituals, how to use crystals to attract love, how to read energy in dreams. On weekends, she worked for a psychic company called The Blue Stone, offering tarot readings over Zoom and on phone. She was one of the 10 readers, but her clients often said that she felt like she was the only one who saw them as they really are and understood the issues that they faced. Most thought she was the best reader that worked at the Blue Stone. Saturday mornings were sacred to her. She always arrived early at the morning brew, claiming the back right-hand table in the outlet. It was her ritual. Laptop plugged in, notes scattered like fallen leaves, coffee cooling beside her as she turned into the impressions already flowing through her. That morning, Sean entered the cafe and settled near the door at the front of the coffee shop. He pulled out his sketch pad and notes, thinking through the next archetypes of his tarot deck. A man beside him flipped through a book titled Negotiation by Design. Sean paused, looked at him, and he thought to himself, by design, that's it. That was the name for his tarot deck. The Tarot by Design. It will fit. He was a designer, an artist, and the deck was a blueprint for something deeper. At the back of the cafe, Silhouette rose to refill her coffee. Her half-finished cup sat on the table forgotten. As she walked to the counter, Sean was walking up to refill his coffee and slipped on a banana peel someone had carelessly dropped and left on the floor. He reached out to steady himself, grabbing the edge of Silhouette's table and sent her coffee flying into her notes. Sean saw it happen in slow motion, but could do nothing to stop this pending disaster from happening. He tried to make it right, grabbing napkins, trying to blot the soaked pages. Silhouette returned, her new coffee in hand, and froze at the sight. "What happened?" she said, her voice low but sharp. Sean looked up mortified. "I'm sorry. I slipped on a banana peel and I knocked over your coffee. It was an accident. Here, let me clean it." Silhouette said nothing at first. Her eyes scanned the mess, then settled on him. He kept dabbing at the notes, trying to separate the pages, his face flushed with embarrassment. Finally, she reached into her purse and pulled out a single tarot card, and she handed it to him. It was the Fool card. Sean stared at it. "I know, I'm definitely the Fool today." Then he looked closer at her in recognition. "Wait, I've seen your videos. You're Silhouette. I've been watching you online. I have been watching your videos on what cards mean. I'm creating my own tarot deck. Funny, the first card I made was a Fool." He pulled the prototype out of his pocket. It showed a man in a subway station holding a ticket. Poised at the edge of his journey, at the bottom, the Fool. Silhouette studied it. "Interesting interpretation," she said. "Tell me more." Sean told her about his dreams and how he kept walking through a door that led to a subway, how he felt like he was chasing something he couldn't name. The dream has meaning, she said. Come, sit at my table, we'll talk. He followed her to the back. She laid out her tarot deck, the cards worn and familiar. Let's see what the cards say, she whispered. She looked past him to the right and then down at the cards and began to shuffle. Silhouette's fingers moved like silk all over the deck. Let's see what the cards say, she whispered. She looked past him to the right and then down to the cards and began to shuffle. Silhouette's fingers moved like silk over the deck, shuffling with a rhythm that had a soft precision about it. The scent of musk and coffee mingled with the air. Sean sat across from her, notebook with his eyes fixed on her cards in anticipation. She laid them out, a Celtic cross formation, 10 cards, 10 thresholds. The present, the Fool, upright, she smiled as the first card revealed itself. The Fool again, she said. You're not just starting a journey, you are the journey. Open-hearted, unguarded, and unaware of how deep the river runs. Sean nodded slowly. I didn't expect this. I didn't expect to meet you, but I did make a grand entrance. Not one, she said, no one expects the Fool when it happens or when it appears. She said, that's the point. Challenge, the moon upright. The second card crossed, the first like a veil. Your challenge is trust, she said. Not in me, in yourself. The moon hides things. It asks you to walk by the feel, not sight. To trust your intuition, and the guides will help you find the way. Acting as a light in the darkness. Sean's brow furrowed. I've always relied on logic. Then you need to learn to listen differently. Sean looked at her and said nothing. The third one representing the subconscious, 5 of Cups, upright. She tapped the third card gently. You're grieving something, maybe someone, but you're only looking at what's spilled, not what remains. Part of the journey and growth is seeing both sides so you can get past the obstacles you face. Sean's voice was quiet. I lost someone years ago. Silhouette didn't press. She let the silence speak, and she looked at him and down again at the cards. Fourth card, the past. 6 of Swords, upright. This card is movement, she said. You've left something behind, but you haven't arrived yet. Sean looked out the window. I feel like I've been drifting, he said. You're between shores, she said. That's where the transformation happens. Fifth card, conscious goal, the star, upright. Her voice softened. You want healing. You want to believe again in love, maybe in meaning. Sean met her gaze. I want to feel like I'm not broken. You're not, she said. You're just unfinished. Sixth card, near future. The Lovers reversed. She paused. There will be a choice, and it won't be easy. This card reverse means tension between desire and fear, between connection and control. Sean swallowed. Is it about perhaps meeting you? She didn't answer. She didn't need to. Seventh card, self-perception, the Hermit, upright. You see yourself as alone, she said, but solitude isn't the same as isolation. I've always been better on my own, he said. Have you, she said, or have you been taking the safer path? Eighth card, the High Priestess, upright. She smiled faintly. This is me, she said, the one who sees, the gifted, enlightened one who waits. Sean looked at her. Really looked. You do feel familiar. I felt that when I came into the table and I was trying to clean up the mess. She said, often familiarity is because I've met you before. You say you saw my YouTube channel, she said. This could be related to dreams, perhaps a precognition of meeting me here. 9th card, hopes and fears. 8 of Cups are upright. You're afraid of leaving what's familiar, she said, but you're more afraid of staying stuck. Sean nodded. I don't know what's out there. You don't need to, she said. You just need to walk and experience life. 10th card, final outcome. The Sun, upright. She turned the last card with reverence. If you follow this path, she said, you'll find joy. Not the kind you've known, something brighter, something better, something you've earned. Sean stared at the card. A child on a white horse, arms open to the sun. I don't feel like that kid, he said. You will, she said, but only if you let yourself. You need to drop the walls that you've built up and learn to trust again. That's the only way you can get to a level where you're able to take in the energy of the sun. The cards lay between them like a map, not of places but of possibilities. Silhouette gathered them slowly. Her fingers brushed the full last. This is your beginning, she said, but it's also mine. Sean arranged to meet Silhouette on his upcoming day off in the morning. Sean, after making the arrangements, didn't speak. He didn't need to. The journey had already begun.